Welcome back to Gfinity 3. Yes, we're about to get the game 3 underway, which is, of course, TCM versus Faze, and we're being joined by the wonderful man that is Astro. How are you doing?
Doing really well today.
Are you enjoying our desk?
Yeah, it's a nice desk. It's spacious. It's got plenty of room for all of my peripherals and things that I have to bring up here.
Okay. Okay. So first up, let's talk about this particular matchup. TCM and Faze. What are you thinking? In your experience, you know, veteran, what do you reckon? What's your call?
This is such a hard match to call. This is probably the toughest match to call in all of group play, in my opinion. I mean, you have European champion TCM here. I mean, they're one of the top 3 teams of all time here in Europe. And then you have Faze, who's a kind of new roster, but still a very, very strong team. And they're coming in here as one of the top North American teams. And I don't know, this is a tough one to call. It's really, really tough. But if you're a spectator at home watching, I think this is one of those matches that you're going to get a good matchup on.
If I was to force you to pick, like, you know, like with the threat of violence.
I've thought about it, and Shane and I were just talking, you know, for a quick second about it. But if I had to choose the team to win this one, I think, like I said, it's going to be extremely close. Mm-hmm. But I can't, I don't know, if my gut is telling me that Faze is going to come out strong, and, you know, I have a feeling that they're going to take it. So I'm going to go with Faze 3-2 in this one.
Okay, Shane, what do you reckon?
I'll start off my prediction. As much as I want TCM to win, I'm looking at the maps and I can see them winning Freight Domination first.
Yeah.
And even though TCM have more experience playing together as a team, for some reason I feel like Faze is going to win the next 3 maps in a row. With players like Parasite on the team, Dido is such an explosive player, so much slaying power. Parasite's S&D game is also outrageous. So I assume Sense is leading, like being the team captain. That always helps motivation and focus. And Apathy. If anyone's watched Apathy recently at any of the recent lands, he's pulled out the most outrageous plays I've ever seen. So I'm just going to go with TCM to win the first map, but Faze to win the next 3.
Okay, all right then. And Melo, what do you reckon?
It's too close to call. I'm looking at the maps here. I'm hoping it goes to a game 5. I hope we see a really intense game, but all of the maps could go either way. I'm just going to go on a whim and say TCM to take it 3-2. I'm going to support EU in this one.
Yeah. I mean, like, what in terms of, like, particularly, like, tactics-wise, do you think that in these particular maps, like, have they got to watch out for, like, anything you reckon, you know, with your knowledge of the teams?
I mean, Freight Dom is predominantly a sub map. We're probably going to see 4 subs on both teams. Obviously, TCM, they're all great subs. Faze, all great subs. So it's just going to be whoever plays better on the day, really, and hopefully we see a close game. I'm pretty sure we will see a close game.
Okay.
See, I feel like TCM relies a lot on PD right now to play like a really aggressive role and to actually perform and slay while he's being aggressive. And you have players like Apathy and Parasite on Faze right now, and those guys play kind of like a roadblock play style sometimes. Like, you never know what you're going to get out of Faze with those 2 players. They could both play aggressive, and if they do that, I think TCM has more of a shot. But I think if you have Parasite and Apathy both playing really passive with ARs and like sitting back, I think that's going to be like a shutdown game on TCM. And so it just depends, I think, on how Faze decide to play it. If they kind of play that more sit back and wait, then I think that's going to hurt TCM a lot.
Okay.
I also think that TCM's S&D at the last EGL, it was incredibly slow. They weren't their usual, like, they're awesome at S&D usually, but at EGL it was like incredibly slow. They weren't making the kills they're usually making. And when you have players like Parasite, Sense are also great S&D players, I think it's going to be too much for them. But TCM, they're an incredible team. They came 3rd at Anaheim, beating Sensor, and also Dido, I think it was, Dido, I think too. So they are capable of beating them.
Well, why don't we just go and find out and get this game underway. We're going to be throwing to Ton and Maven, who are going to be talking you through this particular match. Let's go.
Welcome. Match number 3, myself, Maven, joined by Ton. I think for this 3rd one, you know, we've had a couple pretty swift 3-0s here so far. Not really what I think either of us are expecting here going into this one.
No, definitely not. I think this one's probably going to be the first game of the day that we're really going to see these 2 teams sort of come together. This is what we're expecting of G3. We are going to see big games, hard games for both teams. We've seen the analysts, they're predicting Faze. I'm going Team EU here. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking. I'm saying TCM take a 3-1 personally.
I actually did this at Anaheim. It's a bit of a, we had Faze, well, back when it was Faze, Black play versus TCM at Anaheim. A little bit different of the squad. The first team out we're going to have today will be our Faze Pro team, which will be Dido. Well, we had some swaps here. I know you weren't at Anaheim, but we had some bit of a change here. But we'll have first out will be Sensor, followed by Dido. We have Apathy, the monster, followed by Parasite.
just after them, we are going to have TCM coming in this pretty much straight away. But as I said, what we're talking about, the predictions, I think I just think that TCM are going to have the edge. I think they're going to have the home crowd. We are going to bring them out in just a second. But I think the crowd, I mean, are you guys going to be cheering for TCM?
Well, we heard
couple of cheers.
We
need to lift it a bit more.
I think it was Puckett. He said, who thinks Epsilon's the best team? I didn't hear a lot of cheers. I assumed the rest were going to be falling to TCM here, the two big powerhouses. But, going into Anaheim, we never had a European team place in the top 8. They ended up walking away with 3rd place. I believe it was Optic that beat them in the losers bracket finals. Yeah. And they just played amazing. They used, at first, honestly, me following mostly, the NA side of things, I thought it was mostly their use of smokes and just really aggressive play style that they'll use in S&D was catching teams off guard. But the more we watched them, the further they made it, there's beasts, man.
Oh, yeah. I think, the potential for TCM, you've got if they're firing, I cannot see Faze beating them. I just hope that, last week at EGL, they managed to claim 3rd, but they were disappointed by that because, realistically, everyone thought that was going to be an Epsilon TCM final. Yeah. They didn't get there. I just hope that it doesn't put them down a little bit because they need to come into this. They made their mistakes last week. They need to forget about those mistakes. They need to come into this now. This is one of the biggest events the UK has seen, if not the biggest UK
event. I'm just curious.
They need to deal with the business.
Again, with it being a bit of a rematch, where they really struggled, FaZe and Anaheim, was in the S&Ds. They just, I feel like PD got first blood in pretty much every single round. He was being so aggressive, running, just getting in their face with a sub. They weren't ready for it at all. Now, a couple of these guys, Sensor and Dito, were on that squad, have seen it. I think they're going to be a little more prepared for it this time, especially with the addition of Parasite, who is known for his S&D prowess. Yeah,
at the same time, though, you have players on the TCM side. Last week we seen Marky B pull off one of the most ridiculous 1v4s I've ever seen. In the terms of, it didn't look that flashy. It was actually pick. And it was nothing crazy, but they just have the smarts. Players like this, they are in a situation like that, they can pull that sort of thing off. So I think both teams have their weaknesses, they have their strengths. We're going to see them go ahead very, very soon. Of course, the map side is going to be Freight, Dom, Sovereign, S&D, Octane, Blitz, Strike Zone, Dom, and Warhawk, S&D. I'm still saying 3-1. I'm obviously going to be probably biased about this. But
again, just going back to the first matchup, it was all for FaZe. They controlled the dominations. They pretty much blew them out of the water. It was the S&Ds that completely flipped. It was just all TCM the whole way. So, in my opinion, I really think it's going to come down to the S&Ds. And Moose, I think in particular at Anaheim, was the one that was just crushing. Oh, yeah. I want to say it was maybe Gunshi in a game 5 that he only had 1 or 2 kills, but Moose dropped like 14 or something to carry them through that one. But here we are, about to get hopped into this first domination, which again will be Freight. I imagine we're going to see 8 subs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Vectors all around is definitely going to be the occasion, I would say. But last week, what we did see at EGL was, I think all these players tend to step up at the right times. But every once in a while, we see a player just a little bit dropped off. And that can very much cost your team games. Last week, we seen, unfortunately, they were pretty much down and out against Exertus, and they started coming back because Gunshi switched it on. Yeah. He was having a bad series otherwise, came back into it, got some good games, some good kills down, and he really got TCM back into this. Now we need to see TCM all firing here, or it's going to be a game over. Yeah. But I think they're going to do it. Personally,
they're not going to be able to have a weak, Slayer going into a domination against this FaZe squad. They're just all way, way too talented. Apathy, I thought, was the best addition possible for this squad. He's a complete just monster. I've been watching him a lot online lately. I know it's online, but he's been crushing. But here we go as we hop into this first side. Looks like we're going to start off with Moose.
Well, we are with Moose straight down the center here. B is going to be the point that everyone's wanting to get a hold of. Moose very aggressive here. Straight away to TCM on the point. Moose does go down. We're on board Parasite. 1 capture to his name. He did get the home flag, and it is looking as if it is going to be FaZe to take the first B flag.
Yeah, that was a good break. They got 3 down right off the start there for TCM. We're able to hop on B very, very quickly. And so we sit on here with Parasite, who is red 3. There's 1 player coming in behind. Should be able to get shots on him here quickly. That'll be 1 down here with Parasite.
Now, well played by Parasite. They're just holding this down. I'm going to switch it up, actually going both with Zito currently on 3 straight shots. Going to go down there. He just gets the assist. Parasite did clean up there. Marky B did take down one of the FaZe team. We are now on board with Apathy. Down this left-hand side, just trying to hold things down. But FaZe are pretty good for FaZe, controlling things where they need to. Currently, Apathy 3-2.
Yeah, they've got this. This game really comes down to this Creighton red side trying to get control. Just looking at the mini-map, you can see right now Faze is in complete control of that side of the map. That's going to make it very, very difficult for TCM to make any sort of break on the rotation or put any sort of pressure on B. You can see via the Oracle, they're trying to push out white, but we will sit here on this B dom, smokes everywhere, see what he can get done.
Yeah, it's something we often see. I mean, Apathy's watching right behind here, is that when teams can't get a hold of B, they will push around for the home flags and just try and cause a bit of a distraction, and then that enables them to push towards B. Parasite's going to try and do something about losing C, and the minute air shots do go down, he does take down Moose. He has one more, and I'm not sure who that is on the TCM team, but he has managed to capture C. They are losing B. They could be in danger of getting 3 capped here. Parasite is currently on 3 street, but with Dido getting a hold of C once again. They currently do have B, and normality is going to be resumed. The score is 35-23. It does seem as if Faze are in control.
Yeah, only a couple minutes into this one. Nothing too crazy, but it is a nice early lead here for the members of Faze. Just looking across the KDs, Parasite right now 6-1, really getting it rolling. No player currently positive right now for TCM.
Yeah, I think at the moment, Parasite's just slowing things down when he needs to. Moose is going to get the kill there. He just about gets taken down there, sorry, and Parasite now on board with him 7-1. But fantastic play once again by Parasite. He's just slowing things down. He's there to pick up the pieces when he needs to.
Well, a lot of times you'll see off the spot, this usually turns into, like you said, a 4-on-4 vector, but sometimes you will see off the break, player will take an AR into second story on either side and try to get the defense there on B, but we'll see how long Parasite here continues to run the AR. When you have that 2-count control, when you can get into something like Red 3 and just completely crush with an AR. I've seen a player like Aches Prem get up top there with an AR and go on 15 sprees. We'll see what kind of work Parasite's able to put in.
Oh yeah, I know. As I said, he just slows things down when he needs to. As I said, pick up the pieces. TCM can do nothing about this at the moment. This deficit is really extending out. P does go down where on bow. Moose, can he do anything about this? Once again, it does seem as if they are going towards C. They cannot get a hold of B whatsoever. So much control from Faze at the moment. Fantastic play.
Yeah, Moose able to get the trophy down. He might be able to pull the neutral here, but it was another player that was actually rotating back on C. He did get the neutral. I like that he's sitting back there and just waiting for this player to originally hop on it. We'll see if he's able to make a play. 90 seconds left in this one. Lead currently up to 28. I said this is what I was worried about for TCM was going to be the DOMs. That's where they struggled quite a bit. It was their S&D that really carried them through. And so far, at least, I know it's the first game of the day for them, but not looking strong right now in Domination.
Yeah, it's what I told about the beginning of the game. I mean, PD's having a bad game here, 7-12. It's not usually what we'd expect from him, but at the top of the other side of things, Parasite 10-3. His team at the moment really leading the way. But with Apathy, though, looks as if he's pushing towards the home flag. That was it. It was momentarily captured by Faze. They have lost that now, but it is a very healthy lead as we go into the minute time remaining in the first half now. On board with Parasite, there's one kill looking for the second as well. Not going to quite pick that up, but it's going to be Dido with the double grenade. 4 men down for TCM. This is a very, very strong for Faze. That'll
be a wipe. That Simpex in from Dido just crushed basically everyone on the side of TCM. And as we're winding down here, this has been all Faze all the way, looking so strong. And, we'll have to wait and see. Again, a lot's going to come down to the Game 2 S&D, but, I don't like to take a lot from the first game. Obviously, this is the first game. They've got a bit of warm-up in, but nerves play a bit into this, and also just, not being as warmed up as maybe you'd like to. But so far, again, all Faze. And Parasite, who takes a little flack sometimes for playing a little slow. When you have 2 caps pretty much the entire game, you can get away with that, as we see him Red 3 with this AR stuff.
I mean, the guy is just controlling it so well, and that's all they need to do. I'm going to hit the 100-point mark, and it's going to be around a 43-point difference as we do go into those final few seconds. It may take over just once more. Not going to, but 101-60 is going to be the difference. That's 41 points. Very, very good stuff for Faze.
Yeah, that was a good start to that first side. If this was something like Octane, I'd say, you know what? You see 40, 50-point comebacks on occasion. Typically, a smaller map like this, it gets scary once you get to 20 points, much less a 41-point advantage. This is going to be very, very difficult. And honestly, just look at the slang. I know the entire game is not slang. So much comes down to team communication, rotation, so on and so forth. When not a single player on your team is positive, and collectively you're, minus 20 or so, it's tough to get anything done.
Well, Marky B has picked the 2-piece just straight off the bat there. Not going to be able to get a hold of B just yet. His team are pushing in, and Parasite picks up a 2-piece of his own, though. Marky B sitting on the point at the moment. Dido's going to come and clean up there. Good, Marky B, last man alive momentarily, does go down. And that is going to be Faze in control. Once again, you would imagine the flag is going into their hands. Off of Moose. Can he do it? He does actually manage to get the pit. The second as well from Moose. That's fantastic play. Can they manage to push on? And you know, the thing is with this map, if you can lock it in with the 2-cap, that's all they need to do, because what we didn't really see from Faze is we didn't see much 3-cap. It was steady all the way through. TCM, if they can do that back, they will get back in this game.
Well, at the beginning of this second half was so back and forth. I think it was, what, 2 down for Faze, 3 down for TCM, 2 down for Faze again, and Moose made the big play there on the beat on to ensure they couldn't get it. Now, if the comeback is going to happen, TCM needs to be the first to get B control. They need to lock it down basically the entire game like we saw Faze do. But the scary part here for TCM, and what we'll see a lot of top teams do, you don't need to put any pressure on B. Faze has no reason to overextend, no reason to even get in a 2 or 3 down situation. Right as I'm about to say it, they got 3 down.
Well, B is being taken by TCM at the moment. Moose is pushing on the aggression. As Marky B and Tone, they both pushed into A. This could be a 3-cap potentially. Let's go on board with Marky B, just trying to hold things down. He has cover in the form of Petey, and it's looking good for a 3-cap, but they are currently losing A at the moment. I think, oh, well, it was Dido on there, but currently it is looking good for TCM. They could get back into this one here.
I'll tell you what, if you want to make this comeback, a 3-cap can do it in a hurry. Marky B able to pick up the nice double there. Will lock it down on A. You can see via the minimap, they are going to be spawning A. They're going to see the neutral start now. Marky's rotating. He needs to have another big play. Get shots in 2, able to pick up 1 there.
Now, they need to be careful here because TCM have overextended just a little bit. Moose does need to stay alive and he's in a good position to do so. Doing the right thing here, just staying alive, and that is his teammate that he is shooting, but they need to keep a hold of B momentarily. They do have time. If they can hold this 2-cap, they will bring this one back. But, you know, we said it, Maven, this seems to be probably one of the first games today that's going to be pretty close, and it's going to go down the wire, I think.
Well, I mean, just like that, we're basically exactly halfway through the game, and half of that lead has been made up.
Look at the kills. It's all TCM.
4 down. That's 4 down for TCM here. They got complete control over Faze, and they're in a good spot here. I love where Moose is. He's able to lock down this right side, push them crates, and have his teammates clean them up. But the comeback is real. Advantage down to 16.
Very, very real. On board with that with you now at the moment, just trying to break out from TCM. The Petey does go down, but what we're seeing from TCM, they are all over Faze's spawn. They are in and out around the buildings, and Faze can't do anything because they try and push out, they get shot in the back. It's as simple as that. They need to clean up, and they cannot do so at the moment. Parasite, that's the thing for me. He was 15-5.
Look at the minimap right now. I mean, the entire team is just pushed up into their crates right now. Parasite and Sensor are able to get a kill. Sensor picks up 2, so getting those 3 kills there is going to be huge. It should allow them a little bit of breathing room to try and move out as TCM is coming off spawn, as you do see couple players coming out B, a couple going to be pushing out white as well. And this is their chance, but the lead is right now down to, what, 7? 90 seconds left on the clock.
Well, I think we're going to see our first comeback of the day. TCM right back into this one now. On board with Marky B. Kills going down left, right, and center, though. And as I was saying, there's a lot of kills going down in the spawn there. Parasite was 15-5. He's now 19-15. And they've just shut him down completely. Marky B on for the 3-cap here, though. They are currently losing B. Petey, is he going to be able to stop that? It does look as if they are actually going to get a hold of B, but they do not have a whole flag. Somebody needs to rotate this round.
I'll tell you what, when you have 2-cap control, him running around with a Remington, all right, I get it. You know, you can get set up, you can get a lot of easy picks on people trying to flip that rotation, but when you are being 2 and 3 caps, you cannot have an AR on a map like this. You're just too slow. He already plays a bit slow to begin with. It's too hard for him to keep up with his teammates and put pressure at certain spots when he's got that AR.
That's fantastic work by Faze, though. They did actually capture the home flag, alleviating pressure away from B. He has taken down Marky B and Moose Sensor, cleaning it up there, and they should be able to get a hold of B. We are locked at 147 to 147, 30 seconds to go. This could go either way. Currently, we have Apathy on a 4 streak. Lots of shots going to go down, though. Marky B is going to pick up the kill into B. What is going to happen in this game, Maven? We have 20 seconds remaining. The difference is 2 points to Faze. Looking like they're going to walk away with this one. On board with shot's going to go down left-hand side. He needs help from the rest of his team. 2 members. And he's not going to be able to make it. And Faze walk away with map number 1. And it was so close from these 2 teams.
Well, that fight, it all came down to, as long as that game was, you know, with that 41-point lead first half, it all came down to that engagement on B there in the, last 30 seconds. And I think it was Dido that was last alive kind of playing defense for his squad. But, wow. I mean, props to TCM. That's got to be, despite the loss, you got to think a bit of a boost.
I think they can sort of take away the fact that they had a very bad first half, and they can then say to themselves, right, okay, you know, if we play like we did in the second half for the rest of the game, we should be able to go on. But at the same time, the fact that they were so close and they just get beaten to it, it's going to be a little bit demoralizing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I know it's two sides of the coin. You know, it's great to come back like that, but then to just have it squashed with 30 seconds left on the clock is difficult. But good effort by both sides. We thought this might go 5. I thought it might go 5. You said 4, but as close as that one was, we're in for one hell of a series.
Oh, definitely. And we're going to go for a very, very short break. Do not go anywhere, guys. We got map number 2 just coming up.
Welcome back. About to hop into Game 2, which will be Sovereign Search and Destroy. If you were here for Game 1, we had one hell of a first match.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, if the rest of the game goes on like this, we're in for a hell of a series.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Wow, TCM were 41 points behind, brought it all the way back. I don't even think they actually took a lead, actually. But, you know, they were pretty much within touch and distance of bringing it back all over Faze's spawn. Literally, Faze couldn't do a thing.
I mean, historically, for the most part, we really, again, just see those types of comebacks on Octane. And not too frequently will we see it on a map like Freight. But heck of an effort by TCM. Unfortunately, they fell a little bit short. But now we're coming to what was their bread and butter at Anaheim. Especially, you know, half of this Faze squad they did play against. I think it was to get into top 6 or whatever it may have been at Anaheim. But they could not keep up with the aggressive play at TCM. They just were not ready for it at all. I got to think they might be a little better off this time, but we'll see.
Potentially, I mean, I think TCM, well, actually, can I end the game? We'll have a chat about this. But I think TCM, since then, what I remember specifically from watching Anaheim at home is the fact they were so aggressive. As you said, it really just causes so many problems because you can predict that. I mean, they do it time and time again. You can predict they're going to be aggressive, but there's not much you can really do about it. That's the thing. I mean, they get so aggressive in your face, they could be coming for each and any direction. There could be any amount of them.
Yeah.
And what do you do to counter that? I mean, you can sit back and preempt, but if there's one comes through the door, you're not going to get both of them.
Well, that's how it was. I mean, really, you know, we try to, in the States, we try to follow as much of the European scene as we can, but it's tough sometimes just due to when the matches are being played. And the first time for me, really, where I was like, wow, this is just a different game, is at Champs. You know, pretty much all the European teams, for the most part, were just so aggressive. The Australian teams, too, they just don't play scared. They want to get to those spots, win those spots, hold those spots, whereas typically speaking, the North American teams play a little bit more conservative. And for the most part, I mean, that hasn't worked out so well for them against the European teams.
Obviously, the European teams' S&D game seems to be, they seem to have it very strong. I mean, Epsilon, obviously very, very strong at S&D as well. We're going to see them over the course of the weekend. But see on about TCM now. I mean, Moose and Marky B, for me, phenomenal S&D players.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is with Marky B, he can be passive. He can sit back if he needs to. But when push comes to shove, he can get in amongst it as well with that SMG or with the AR.
Absolutely. I think if you're the top 2 players for me in S&D at Anaheim were, I'd say, Krem, number 1. When you drop 20 kills,
okay, I suppose.
It's not easy. And then Moose right after that was just so consistent. That's the thing for me. I mean, putting up 20 is one thing, but like when you're consistently in double-digit kills, which you'll see players like Machilla will do frequently, Moose just always in the double digits in these S&D rounds, you start to take notice.
Yeah, I think we're just having a couple of issues here, but well, we'll keep chatting. We'll keep chatting. We can just make this the Maven and Tony
maybe
show.
we're right now.
Oh, we okay now?
They're giving us another chance here.
Oh, no, I can't get in.
No.
This is excellent. And we are having some issues, with Codcaster, I think.
Doesn't want to.
I mean, we
allow
were
us to
spectator.
spectate
We had it enabled. No, we are actually going to.
Oh yeah, something's going on. I think it's just us here right now. But
Yeah,
sorry about
I
the
said
break.
we will make it the Maven and Tony
Yeah,
show
they
if
don't
you
want to start this one. You know, it's probably Faze. You know, they're a little nervous for this S&D game against TCM, so they're throwing it a little bit as the match begins yet again.
Yeah, I think we're. Okay, we'll let that start. We'll ignore that for now. But obviously, TCM, if they were to go on and win these S&Ds, I mean, can it go down to the Blitz? I mean, are we sort of giving TCM the S&Ds, or? I mean,
again, it really
different team.
It was very, very one-sided against Faze previously. But again, it is a different team, and you add a player like Parasite, who's known to kind of, to a degree, be an S&D all-star. Not really quite that, but that's what he's known for a lot of the time. So I gotta think he's gonna be a boost in that department over Saints or Formal that were on the team previously. But to be honest, I haven't got to watch this Faze team a ton. You know, AEL, I got to watch him a little bit, and some of the 2Ks got to see him play a bit. But S&D on LAN is a completely different monster than watching scrims or watching 2Ks. So a lot of times teams won't even use most of their strategies in online tournaments.
You want to save it. I mean, the infamous one for me was, I mean, TCM very much so, I think it was Warhawk. It was just smokes down, bang. No, sorry, not Warhawk. I can't remember what the map was, but it was literally smokes down in the middle of the map, run straight through, and see how it goes down. But it seems to work for them quite often.
Well, I know as far as the Blitz, the one thing that the North American teams were really struggling with against TCM is, I mean, they were strong-arm smoking everything. It'd be Warhawk. They're throwing nades off the spawn, just smokes everywhere mid-street, just constantly throwing smokes, you know, on their flag. So they really had no idea where anything was coming from. And we did a listen-in with Faze at the time. Again, different roster, but they were so frustrated dealing with the smokes of TCM. And it surprised me because, you know, you see that type of play sometimes out of American teams, especially players like Killa, Fizzerps, a big fan of smokes. But TCM, they were getting under the skin of some of these North American squads.
Yeah, you know, I think the way to go with that one is, I mean, if you can frustrate your team, frustrate the opposition, you don't really need to go in and win all these gun battles. That's the thing. I mean, you know what? Bring the game to you. You're in control of it. I mean, at the same time as that, they go, oh, well, all they did was use smokes and, you know, run and get lucky caps. It's the game mode. That's how Blitz works.
Well, that's, I mean, in my opinion, yes, gun skill, gunfights, big deal. But team communication is probably the most important thing. So, yeah, if you can frustrate a team to the point where they're bickering and dealing with smokes or various play styles, that is just a benefit to you. But we will start off on the Anaheim S&D god, Moose, here, and see what he can get done for his side.
Well, I thought I would pick him because I know you're a fan. So we're going to go on board with Moose. Particle mode obviously enabled. Bomb is not being picked up by anyone, but I think somebody obviously will turn themselves back around for that one. But at the moment, the complete opposite of what we actually did think that they would do, and they are being very, very passive.
Yeah, he's just waiting back here with this air. We'll flip around and see if we can hop into any of the action. They haven't really made a play with this bomb. They hadn't really made a decision which side they were going to go. Looks like they are going to rotate this back around, try to make an A push. If you look at the minimap, for the most part, kind of what you expect. Most coverage is going to be on B. There is one player in back research kind of keeping his head on a swivel. PD is going to be the first one in here. We'll see if he can try and get this set up.
Shots fired towards the back there, and PD's going to go on the aggression. This looks like the bomb is actually going to go down with big aggression here from somebody. It is going to be Parasite. He does go down. Marky B making that kill. Apathy goes down to PD as well. And TCM are looking to get a grasp on this first round. Bomb does go down.
Yeah, they have a 3-2 advantage now as Marky B was taken out. I mean, the timing there at the beginning, PD pushed in right when that player rotated out of research. They're in a good position here. You see Sensor and Dito are basically on top of each other here. And there's PD in the corner. Sensor able to turn on it, but will drop to Gunshi. Round one will go to TCM.
Yeah, that was good work by TCM. They just slowed
on board with Faze now. Looks like we are going to have a B push.
Oh, here we go. Aggression in together, defensive and attack it in. It is going to be Faze with the first two kills. And the bomb is not going to go down, and we're going to have this issue.
Well, and we'll see at the time. Well, all right, maybe they're just going to clean this up. If they did have,
I suppose you can do that
advantage.
as well.
All right, well, I guess they're going to play through that. I'm not sure what the ruling will be. I don't know if it depends on the players if they want to continue through that or if it stops at the time of the bomb, but we're going to find that out here soon enough, I'm sure.
I think they just took it in their own hands.
I mean, it was already pretty much when he was trying to put it down, they were already 3 down for TCM. It was already a 4v1, so I think that's why we just had the play out there.
Yeah, I think in those sorts of situations, if the team feel they can do that,
yeah.
But then at the same time, could they then turn around and say, "Oh, we couldn't plant the bomb, that's why we lost."
That's why I was surprised to see it continue to be played out. But
could you imagine if they glitched the 1v4 TCM?
Yeah,
that would have been a different issue. Anyway, on board with Moose again. Actually, I'm gonna go. Who's this? Russian. Wow. I mean, that's just exactly what you want to see from somebody on your team in the middle of an S&D, all the way underground, right around behind them. Dido goes down. TCM on the aggression and in control momentarily. It is now 2 versus 2. It is being planned as I'm going to go on board, sorry, with the Faze guys. Semter and Apathy. It was Sensor and Dido previously, but Sensor doing it well. It's staying alive here, but it is 2 versus 2.
Yeah, they're in a similar position to that round. Looks like Sensor's going to wrap around for research. Looks like they both actually are going to move together. The one player's lying right by the bomb. Good little peek there by Sensor, able to stay alive. Still has 25 seconds on the clock to work with, so plenty of time as Gunshi is just trying to dodge the bullets that are flying in here.
Marky B made 1 kill. It was great cover, and he does have 15 seconds. And what's going to happen? Gunfight's going to come down. Marky B is going to walk away with that one. That's going to be 2-1. TCM, and well waited out by Marky B. I was thinking maybe he's a little bit too far away from the bomb, but he moved over to the left-hand side. He could just cover Gunshi. He did manage to make 1 kill. Gunshi, unfortunately, did get taken down. Then just drops himself off. It means Apathy has to come searching for him.
Good patience there. Like you said, it could have kind of backfired had that player decided to go for the bomb instead. He would have been in a position where he had to get a little bit aggressive with a Remington there at close range, but his patience paid off, able to pick up the kill there. It is going to be a 2-1 advantage right now for TCM.
Parasite looking with the pigs here, and interesting push. Actually, up himself in the corner. Want to give the ghost away, but wow, look at that. Well, with Parasite at this moment in time, though.
And it looks like, what is that? 2 flankers are going to be coming around.
Yep. I mean, is Parasite aware of this? I mean, he must have had blast break or something. Shots being fired. He does manage to survive it.
Oh, he is feeling cocky. I thought he was going to challenge the sniper. Able to turn and get the knife on Moose. I don't know what the communication was there with him and his teammate, but he should have been ready for that, surely. But he will be taken out. Still on board with Parasite. Does have this side. The bomb is down. He knows there's a player up there. Apathy's about to get shot in the back.
Oh.
Parasite gets taken down as well, and that's going to be the entire side of Faze.
I mean, what was that from TCM? All right, guys, we're defending B here. Let's throw 2 guys underground and see what happens. That's essentially the plays, and it worked out.
Well, once that bomb was down, they just swarmed, and I thought Parasite was going to be able to pick up a couple kills there once Apathy dropped, but he did get picked off from the right side, and just like that, 3-1 advantage here for TCM.
I think what it boiled down to is the fact that TCM are thinking if they can get somebody around behind, and they've got people sort of sitting watching the bomb from their defensive stance, then they really do pin them in, and Faze have nowhere to go. I mean, tactic worked perfectly in the end. We are on board with Marky B.
And here I was, talking up Moose, his S&D prowess, and Goose right now, not on the board yet, so he's going to have to get it going here for his side. Now, they do have this 3-1 advantage as he is going to drop to 0-4, unable to get on the board so far.
Well, Gunshi and PT last 2 alive against Apathy, Parasite, and Sensor. They're not in a great position to do much about this yet. They're very much trapped inside of B. Need to make a move, need to make a pick, but the pick is actually going to go to Apathy. He does take down B. Gunshots by Gunshi. He does manage to stay alive. Has to be careful. There's 2 guys lingering. He's done. Oh,
I thought he was going to get caught reloading there, rotating around. Top control there, but he will get picked off by Parasite at this back cat. We'll get kill with the Vector, and that's going to bring it to what, 3-2 here as Faze is trying to climb back in this one.
Well, TCM taking advantage at the moment. Gunshi 6-3 up there. I mean, he's so consistent, this guy. I mean, we did talk about him, obviously. He had a bad game at Anaheim.
Yeah, it was like the exact opposite. Moose was in carry mode. I think Gunshi was the one struggling. Right now, the backpack's going to be Gunshi as he's taking care of his squad. They are still up 1, but it looks like the Parasite pick is going to come in. Dito's able to get one as well. 3-2 advantage right now. Make that 2v2. Sensor and Dito versus Gunshi and PD. Is Sensor going to see this guy's head? He will. Give him a little bit of a haircut there.
Well, Gunshi is going to pick up the kill on Dito. He's going to have the second sensor. Going to come up on him, and it's going to be 3-3. Faze very much combining to this one, and we're seeing a fantastic game here so far. But just didn't get himself on the board there. 1 and 5 from him. But he needs to step it up here, because I think, you know, if Moose is having a game that he would usually have, TCM will be way out in front at the moment. But
I couldn't agree more. He did manage, like you said, to get on the board here, but just look at the KDs pretty much across. Very, very similar on both sides. That attests to the reason we do have the tie score here. This is following pretty much, I mean, it's relatively similar, at least to the result of game 1, and that we've got a really tight game 2.
It's Moose here. Let's see if he can get himself 1 and 5 at the moment. Not what we'd expect from him. Working very, very well for TCM. Dido is going to go in there with the kill on Dido with a 2-piece as well. And that's really going to shut TCM down very, very quickly. And she is able to get the pick on the Parasite, but does go down to Sensor.
Yeah, that was so well done by Dido there. I mean, Moose was pushing up. He should have had an idea where he was. Dido turned on him hard, able to get that 2-piece and take the advantage. And this is the first lead we're going to have for Faze here, so we'll be a 4-3 advantage.
TCM needs to step this up, I think, and my 3-1 prediction is looking less likely.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is, especially if they take this one. That's out the window. I was thinking Faze in 5. I don't know. I mean, if they're able to pull out the S&D, which I really, really did not think this was a game that they were going to win, but they're looking pretty strong here so far, and that's due to, well, Sensor, really the whole squad's kind of pulling their weight. Dido -1, but everyone in and around
Yeah, they're doing the things they need to. I mean, Dido maybe -1, but he did pick up a fantastic 2-piece of frame. He's going to become another kill on the Moose there, who does go down 1 and 7 from him. Is not what we come to expect.
Well, it's a struggle, too, because not only is he 1 and 7, but I think he's, of his 7 deaths, 3 or 4 of those, he has been the first one to drop, which makes it, honestly, even worse, even harder for his side. But PD's going to be the last alive here in a 1v3. He does have the AR in top control. Just looking at the minimap, you can see everyone over on that A side. He's going to have to try and rotate here.
He's going to do well if he does this one. PD here looking for the picks, and he's surely going to get picked from his left-hand side. He has to be very, very careful. Cannot even spot the bomb.
They see him. I think he saw his shoulder there. Oh, and not able to clean it. He actually dies from the fall damage there to bottom middle and control now. I mean, it looked like this was going to be a pretty easy TCM victory. What they took a 3-1 lead there to start it off, and it's been nothing but Faze here for the rest of the way.
They've changed the game up a little bit. They got aggressive and they got the lead. I mean, the first round was a little bit passive to begin with, and then they went for it. But they've slowed it down, and it seems to now be dropping off of them. But we are going to go on board with Marky B. 5 and 6 from him at the moment. Dunshi is having a good game, but the rest of the team negative currently. But with Mark, they just cannot get those first picks. Every single time I'm seeing the scoreboards coming up, it is Faze first pick. Every single time. Sensor seems to be the one that's doing the work.
I'd almost like to say it's been practically every round. At least it seems that way. And just like that, Moose last alive here in a 1v4. This should seal the deal unless we have some sort of miracle here out of the 1 and 7 Moose. But unfortunately, going to finish that one 1 and 8 was a very, very, very tough game for him. And I think this series, I mean, unfortunately, this is all but over in my opinion, just because I thought they had to win the S&D. They had to if they were going to take this 1 and 5. And losing that one, I really think we're looking at what might be our third 3-0 to start the day, but we'll see.
I think it's been a lot closer, the maps in between these two teams. You know, I mean, yeah, we have seen 3-0s 2 games in a row on the main stage, but I think these maps definitely been closer between these two than we have seen. I'll just have a quick look at the scoreboard there. I mean, Sensor 9 and 4 from him. The rest of the team hitting 7 and 5. I mean, you can have that one guy doing the work and the rest of them very consistent. But for me, I mean, TCM, you got to look at them and say, Moose, I mean, it's a tough game because, I mean, obviously he was getting picked.
Sensor, the player's really turned it up lately. I mean, Anaheim, I thought, was one of the best events I've seen him have, at least over the past 6 months or so. And he was crushing. Looks like he's carrying it over here to this event. Game 3 is going to be Octane Blitz, which, I mean, I would have said beforehand, I mean, every respawn I thought was in favor of Faze, but it could go either way.
It depends what happens, because if TCM played like they did in the second half, Domination, they are sure enough going to put up a fight for Faze. We are going to see that just after this break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Hello guys, and welcome back to G3. I'm Tony and I'm here with Maven. We've got a great game going on here. Close maps, but it is Faze in the lead at the moment, 2-0.
Yeah, they're making it look like we might see another 3-0 here. I thought we would have the looks of, especially after game 1 with that comeback and the S&D prowess of TCM in recent events. I thought we were looking at possible game 5, but so far all Faze, and really it hasn't been one person that stood out. They're all doing well.
For me, I think Parasite obviously a fantastic game first half of Domination.
Yeah, 15 and 5.
And then he must have dropped about 18 deaths and 3 kills. But I think Sense has been very consistent for me. We're going to go in the game, go straight off. It's going to be Blitz on Octane. We're going to jump into that game now.
All right, on board here with Sensor. He's got one guy pushing through the right, through Diner. It looks like he's a little bit of ring around the rosy with that player. And will eventually get the kill. Now, it's sort of, I mean, at least in recent months, I guess you could call it the quote-unquote meta has changed a little bit for Blitz. It used to be more about team communications, rotations, you know, kind of clearing out your base and then moving out of the squad. Now it just became more of a sprint fest to see who can score as quickly as possible. Yeah, just run, constant aggression.
Obviously, he's going to pick up one kill. He does go down to Marky B, though. There's TCM pushing, and if you look in the top left corner, they do have the aggression here, and they are on the better side if they want to start getting some rolling caps. You know, get that train rolling. They can pick up on multiple caps, but Sansan is some good defensive work there. It does go down low to PD. On board with PD now as he does push forward. It's definitely TCM with the control. That's a great grenade on the Dido, and they're looking for a cap.
Yeah, and he had the 1v1 here. He was able to shoot Apathy in the back and fire through the first cap. So PD first on the board, a little over a minute into this, and TCM will take the lead. A hot start for them would be huge. Again, they are down 2-0 in the series, take a 2-0 lead in this game 3, and this is exactly the start they want.
Well, they've done very, very well so far, but it is going to be Faze that are going to push through here. PD has work to do. He needs to stay alive very, very quickly. He does go down.
There are bullets flying in from every angle there. He was not able to hold it down by himself, so first cap there for the members of Faze. We're watching Gunshi right now. He's pushing right down mid-street, going to rotate here through Lower Mattel, and he's going to have an easy, uncontested cap.
It does look as if TCM are really just going for the trade here. I mean, they're in the lead slightly just because of the fact that there's time ticking down on their own flag, but they're really going trading here, and it's a risky maneuver for me. I think they should probably turn it back around and try and have that start that they had, but Moose is going to trade things up. He's going to go 4-3 now, but you can only think that, yeah, exactly. Faze are going to answer back every single time. And I don't know if TCM are just playing the game of, oh yeah, let's just keep running and see what happens.
Well, especially, you know, if you're on Motel side, you get that strip spawn, you know. I feel like, again, months ago, you would see people try to rotate back to their base, play the defense. Now it's like if 3 of us are down and spawn there, we are sprinting straight across mid-map and just going to try and trade. It's easier, to be honest, to just keep going back and forth, and that's what we're seeing right now. It's pretty much just been cap for either side. A trade back and forth, 5-4 advantage right now for Faze. They are 2 down. Apathy in a good spot here to play a bit of defense, gets him through the palm tree there.
Apathy 7-kill streak at the moment. No, obviously he does have caps on board as well, but Sensei do good defensive work. And I think Faze have played this right. For me, I think TCM made the wrong call. I think they should have defended, because I mean, Faze was stacked up in their spawn there. They drop back now, got the defensive kills they needed to. Easy enough for Faze to come back into this one, and suddenly Moose is the last man alive. He needs to get a cap on the board here. He is going to take down Dido. He should be able to hold that one in. Now he needs to help his team defend. Only 3 cap for him, 3 streak for him, sorry. 5-5 is the score.
Yeah, and this is a lot like the S&D started with 3-3 all tied up, and then Faze started to pull away. We'll see if we have a similar result in this one. Minute 40 left to go. 1 cap lead here for Faze. We are on board with Moose, who's kind of taking. I thought he was going to wrap around through his strip, really the long way around, but he is going to put pressure directly into Motel here. Able to pick up one. He's got another player on his right by the bus. He's just going to run on by. Looks like he's going to actually go up top here. He will have an engagement here on the stairs. Should be an easy kill, and he doesn't know it, but the base is cleared out. He actually could fly in there for the cap, but he's going to have to win a gunfight on his right.
Well, Sensei did pick up one. Gunshi is going to clean that up himself, though. But we are seeing TCM are pretty stacked up here, and they could definitely get some kills down and definitely get some cows down. Marky B on board with him now. Grenades are going to come in. He should be able to sneak into there. He does so, leveling things up, and it seems that TCM are getting into some sort of control. Now, if you're Faze in this situation, do you go back to defend, or you just sort of say, right, let's just make sure we're answering back to these caps? It's very, very close. Theodore shutting down Moose, and they've done fantastically well here. Faze, and they have managed to break out that little spawn lock that TCM had on them. 7-7 now, very close game once again.
And I'll tell you what, Jan, Faze in strictly business teams in the past, typically when Sensor in respawn he is slaying the way he is right now. He's 15-7. They are very, very hard to beat when he gets in a groove like this. So going to keep an eye on him as he is far and away leading everyone in kills right now and has the most caps. Hell of a game 3 out of Sensor.
Sensor 16-7, that's said. Very, very well played. And really, you got to say, if he wasn't having that good a game, would Faze really be in touch at the minute? But the moment he is, you know, having that player on your team that can do that sort of thing,
well,
it's always a nice little cushion to have, isn't it?
Well, Blitz is one of those game types where, again, you can get outslayed, but if it becomes this sprint trade like it has been, I mean, let's take a look here. They're outslaying them currently by what? 8, 10, like 12, 13 kills, somewhere in that ballpark, and tie game.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the kills haven't really transferred to any sort of lead at all.
No, and that is the thing with Blitz at the moment. But I think, for me personally, I think TCM could have played that a little bit better a couple of times where they didn't drop back. I think they probably should have. I mean, we're going to start with TCM. We started with Faze last time around. We're going to go with Moose. Not having the best of series, not what we expect from him. I'd like to see him sort of kick things off, yeah, and he is going to meet somebody down this corridor, down the left-hand side here. Good fight, going to come up. Moose should walk away with that one. Does take down Marky B mid-map, so both teams trading equally, but it is going to be the first cap on the board for TCM in this half. The score is 8-7.
Yeah, I'm curious just to see how they play this from this side, if they're going to continue kind of what we saw in the first half of just the continuous sprint and aggression to just try and keep the trading up. They are able to take an early 2-cap lead, though. Fired them through within, what, the first 30 seconds of this side. But currently on board with Sensor Ridge, top hotel, going to be able to get one. He has another behind him on the stairs here. We'll see if he can get this kill. Shot's a little suspect, not able to clean him up, but still does have this top control. Yeah,
my worry for TCM is if Faze gets stacked up in here. I mean, if they get stacked up in their apartments, it's going to be game over unless TCM can just constantly trade. But at the moment, I think you've got a guy like Parasite sitting around. Very hard to do. The score is 9-9 to 1. Parasite, oh, he's going to get wiped out by Moose. Catches him with his pants down. Moose is going to push forward in through to this point. Tito got some defensive work to do. Going to be able to pull off, stop Moose, but at the moment his team are attacking as well. So Tito has to really defend here. He manages to kill one. But Gunshi should clean that one up, and it is going to be Petey to take out Sensor as well. So good work by TCM to get the point and defend very well. They're in control. They're pushing through mid-map.
Yeah, I thought Faze, like you said, was going to be able to stack their base, force that script spawn, and kind of get set up on that truck at the head glitch and really make this a nightmare for TCM. But TCM heating up. They, like you said, defended their base. They had a really good attack as well. Dito couldn't hold it off, and just like that, well, still a 1-cap lead though, despite that. But that could have got ugly for them really quick, and they locked it down. 2 minutes into this one, just a little over 3 left to go, and on board with Moose.
Yeah, and Petey's really heating up now. 22 and 11 from Sensor is going to be a standout score, but Petey 16 and 16. The amount of kills he has is definitely helping his team out, and we are very, very aggressive from him. Sorry, Parasite is going to take out Gunshi, but Smoke's being deployed. He should get caught here, and he does. Now, we need Moose and Marky B to do some defensive work for TCM. Currently, the lead is still 10-9 as we're about to hit the halfway point at the second half.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned to you before the series started. They like their smokes in this game type in particular.
They give his position away, if anything.
Yeah, it does. It's just, I think more of it, it's just, it can be irritating for the other team, like I said, and it doesn't seem like they've been able to use it too effectively. At least a couple times you were on board with someone who uses smoke. They weren't really able to turn it into points yet, but they still do maintain the lead. The scoring has really come to a standstill. That first half was so rapid fire. Second half not really playing out the same way at all.
And TCM, I think, are the ones that have actually slowing things down. They're making the aggressive pushes in behind, and that's making Faze having to slow down. They can't just push forward like they have been doing. And TCM playing a smart game here. They are defending very, very well, though. See, they do have control on the side of the map they need to. With Apathy, though, looking for the picks. At the moment, it is Faze in some sort of control of the map. Sensor still having a fantastic game up there. He is double positive. Apathy picking up the kill on the Marky B as we do see them push through. But look at them. TCM snacking up yet. A couple of them just sitting in and around their point. They have to be careful just not to get locked in. And that is a nice pick by Moose. That's important because if you have that guy in behind, that's going to cause you all sorts of problems. You just need to sit, make picks here. They can push on, but Marky B 10 and 14 at the moment needs to step up again.
Moose gets that kill and chucks that smoke over at long. I think I saw like 17 smokes over there, but yeah, Cap is about to go in there for Faze. So all tied up here. God, this is so much like the Dom in the sense that this is really going to come down to the final seconds, I think. But lead back to TCM.
Just momentarily, I think it's going to be the thing, though, as we do see Faze are getting control of that middle map now. It was a good push by Pete. He just went in all the way around behind. Apathy's made 1 kill, not going to be able to second this. Parasite going to be able to clean up. He just about stays alive. Moose is going to make the kill. Sensor, nice kill by Parasite. And he's really heating up here. 15 and 12 from him. Sensor is 25 and 40 in the minute. Another kill by Parasite here, looking up top as well. Faze in some sort of control of the map here. They have to keep them stacked up. They have to be careful that TCM don't just go for the trade. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see.
Huge kill.
He is pushing.
Absolutely huge kill. He gets a shot there. Parasite is going to be able to secure 1, 2, maybe 3 caps here as he got the double there at the base. They're still down 1, but they should be able to flood some through. They need someone at home, though, to watch this strip spawn. They're just flooding across there. The long haul, this is going to be really back and forth. Lead to TCM, though, but the rally is still waiting on the side of Faze Black. Yes, Sensor needs to play some huge defense here. He's got one in front, able to shut that down. The cap does come in there from Faze. All tied up, 8 seconds left. Here comes the next cap.
And it's going to be a tie. Wow.
Unreal.
I mean, you know, time and time again, we see teams overextend, they overextend, and it works out for them at times. I mean, Parasite's 6th streak at the end there. I mean, that really set up his team to come back. But
the 2 PC got in the base, you knew. I mean, there were 3 players there. They were going to get a rally going because it forces that strip spawn. And that's what I was saying. I mean, back in the day, you know, you might see them come back and try and play defense. At this point, though, just book it across. They gave up their base. They gave up 3 caps, but they turned it into a couple of their own, and just that's all they needed.
Well, we are going to go to a repeat of that map. Because it's not something we see very often. I mean, it's very rare you actually get draws on this. I mean, it can't happen. Obviously,
a couple times in an event, but no, not super frequently. And
yeah, and you know, maybe another 5 seconds on the clock there in TCM. Maybe we're probably in a better position to get. I think they were in the lead, so to speak, in terms of waiting for the timer to tick down. They just didn't have enough time for another cap on the board. That was the thing. We are just going to go straight back into this one as soon as we can. But
you got to feel for if this does end up being a 3-0 in the favor of Faze. You know, you got to feel for TCM.
Oh, yeah.
This is
it doesn't represent this.
Exactly. A 3-0 does not at all represent how this one has gone, especially now going into a fourth map of the 3 possible 3-0. But yeah, heck of a game 3. Hell of a game 1 we had with the Domination as well. And God, if they can pull this Blitz out, I mean, I definitely would not say TCM is remotely out of it.
Oh, no, definitely not. I think, you know, pull the Blitz back, and then, you know, we talked about their S&D game, but they would need to win a Dom to get back to that last S&D. But, you know, I think that sort of went out the window now. It's just a case of, right, you need to win 3 wins off the bounce here, or that's it. I mean, and then they're going to have to battle out for 2nd place. I mean, I'll have a look at their group in a second, but not what we expected. Of course.
No, not at all. And yeah, I'd like to see this first side if it's going to be. I mean, that was sort of a I know it's funny because it started so, what was it, 7? Well, it ended up being 7-7 and 7-7 on both sides, but the second side did not remotely. I feel like those 7 caps came so consistently and so quick from the break, whereas it was like 3 to 4 from each side came in really the final 60 seconds of that second side when they just started flooding through. So that was just an incredibly up and down game.
Yeah, and I think it all boils down to, you know, the final 30 seconds. I mean, both teams really, really going for it. Constant caps. It's nice to see because it really creates a little bit of tension at the end of the game. And it went down the wire, and it turned out to be a draw. Nobody actually wins. We are going to jump back into the game now.
Yeah, I thought Faze had it to win. You know, they just had to get somebody through, and then that players had to come up really clutch on the defensive side. Just wasn't able to clean that up ultimately, and we would finish in a tie. But we'll start off with Marky B here. Looks like he's going to push this strip side, and just taking a look at the mini-map, no one really, that player pushed through front strip. It looks like he's going to rotate around, trying to pick him off, or maybe to just shoot across as they just, I think he saw him there at the last second finally.
That's good by Mauti because he's turned himself around, and I think he probably was going to drop back and defend there, but he is calling out for his team. That's what he needs to do. I mean, they have one little sneaky guy here.
And those fights are the difference in games. I mean, how many times do you look at top players? I mean, being able to win those 1v1s, like beating a player off a head glitch, or just beating that player stationary waiting for you at the base is so huge. He wasn't able to win that one, but Faze will take the lead here. We switch over with Moose.
Well, at the moment, though, TCM just about managed to get a cap on the board, but Faze going to answer straight back. And it seemed as if TCM committed everyone to apartments there. They needed the stack up on that. Didn't get it, and then now they are at 1 point behind with 1 minute gone. Well, at the moment, there's a long way to go. Yeah, Moose down this left-hand side gets wiped out by Parasite. Picks up a 2-piece of his own, though. And once again, just the trade's going to come in, but Faze with that advantage.
And that was Moose. You know, he knew Parasite was there, or at least had an inkling, but still got caught sprinting as he checked that corner. Marky B here, bottom diner. Shots coming in from everywhere. He's going to have to play this a little bit patiently. He doesn't have really any help from his teammates, but he's still able to clean up one. One more player on his left. That player is actually going to push him. Saw him for a second, but he will get away to mid-map. Gunchi and Moose should be in a good spot to clean him up.
TCM gets in control of the mid-map. They are 2 points down, 3 minutes and 20 seconds just remain on that clock. And that's good shots by Sensor. Take down Moose. Gunchi really needs to make this kill. They have managed to get that. Now they have the stacks up there. They need to make sure they defend effectively. If they don't, it's going to mean nothing, but there is somebody there. Marky B is going to be there to get the attack on, but they have to be careful because somebody is going to walk that in for Faze, Marky B, and it is going to be the trade once again. But it is just down to Faze having that lead. They're very happy to trade. I mean, at this moment in time, they could be aggressive the whole game, and they could probably walk away with it.
Well, for the way that they want to play, I mean, having this 2-point advantage is pretty big. Now, I mean, they can play that trade game and just try to keep that 2-cap lead. I don't think in the first side of the last game, it ever was really separated by 2 for any length of time. It was so back and forth, just trade after trade after trade. But TCM has brought it within one. Sensor is going to be the only player alive for Faze right now. He's going to have to try get a stop on the defensive side. Able to pick up one. Second player coming in, able to pick up both. Third across. Oh my. Shots look good to me. Sensor, though, did clutch it up on defense there. Basically prevented them from getting a cap.
Oh yeah, I know, very, very good defensive. You know, it's just them plays that you can make on Blitz, where you sit back, you sit, you're not going to shoot anywhere until you know that you can pick up yourself at least 2 kills or a cap and a kill. And he did that so well. It's all about the timing. But we're just now trying to do some defensive work because he takes a couple of shots, managed to survive, just pick up the assist. Gunchi did, clean up on Sunset, who's been the standout player of this series for me so far.
Yeah, I don't think Moose was ready at all to get peeked around that corner on the head glitch, but did manage to stay alive. He is going to push across right side into the middle. Switching here with Marky B, who's coming out of diner. He's got a couple who's that Sensor that is going to be the one waiting for him, able to clean that up. There was another player to his left, I believe, on top of the bus. He should drop in just a second. That was Petey able to take him out. Apathy should come in and trade with him as well as he locks down the top motel here. And as we enter the final 90 seconds, still as close can be. What was it, 7-7 for the first half of the last game? It's 7-6 now. It's going to be a pretty similar result.
Well, TCM are on the aggression. Parasite, you know, it just seems to be Faze of making those clutch little kills every once in a while that's keeping them within that lead. I say that they just draw it up now, TCM, but it does look as if Faze are going to push on, get on the aggression. But TCM are there and ready to meet them. Petey has some defensive work. This dude does take down Apathy. Apathy had taken down Gucci with a grenade, but TCM are defending effectively here. 1 minute to go. Stay alive.
You know, you asked the question, you know, if Sensor wasn't 16-7, do you think they'd still be in this one? Well, the answer is, in fact, if he's 8-7, the score is going to remain exactly the same, because pretty much the exact same result without him absolutely going off. So I think it definitely speaks more to the strategies of these two teams, to the trade up aggressive style they're playing, than to the actual gun skill and slaying that's going on.
Well, TCM are going to be the ones on the aggression for the final 30 seconds, I'd imagine, as they are really pushing Faze into their spawn here. Parasite and Apathy making points on the board, but the team have scored. TCM are taking the lead now. 8-7 is going to be the score with 20 seconds remaining. Petey has some good work to do, but he's not going to be able to shut that down. And it's looking as if that might be the last of it, but Marky B's made some good pushes here. 13 seconds to get a cap on the board. He has 3 members of Faze in his way. He's not going to get anywhere near, but it's Moose potentially. Does have Gunchi in tow, and they're just going to go for it. Gunchi makes one. Is he going to make the point in there as well?
Jump in.
Oh, so close. It's only going to be 8-7 as we go into the second half.
And that's, I mean, as similar to the first side as it really possibly could be. I mean, 7-7 now into 8-7. Very similar, fast-paced, back and forth, constant trading. And you know, I think it was as much as a 3-cap lead for Faze there early on. I thought they were going to start to pull away, but great job by TCM there to turn it around.
I mean, they just defended when they need to. I mean, Faze were making some clutch plays as well at the same time, though. I mean, they were closing down when they needed to, defending when they needed to, but it just turned around. I think Marky B won a 7 streak at one point. I mean, you know, you get a player who does that to an enemy team. It's really going to enable you guys to push up here, and after he has some defensive work there too. Somebody closed the windows. A little bit windy.
Well, that there is why smokes can be irritating. I saw that player dive into the smoke, just spammed an entire clip of his vector at a wall. Basically, I think he got 1 hit marker as that player snuck into gas. But first cap here is going to go to Faze. We're back to a tie ball game as we are also used to with these two squads.
Well, it's defensive from Faze here. The that grenade should be good. Very well timed. This does go down, but we are on board with him at the moment. Shot's going to go down. You know what? Faze are playing this well. They're just sitting back and wait for the kills, picking them up, pushing out. It's very, very simple, but at the moment, just sitting up top, and I can't look away from this guy at the minute. 4 streak for him, 12 and 11, with 3 caps to his name. Well, kill's been traded a little bit now.
Well, this reminds me again of the first game. The first side started out so frantic, second side slowed down a bit, and that's what we're seeing here too, is really only 1 cap in the last 70 seconds. On board with Sensor here, pushing towards mid-map from front. He has a guy in his right, trying to get some shots in. Ultimately, he will get the kill there on Marky B, but he is quite weak. Going to rotate all the way around here through from Hotel. Looks like he is going to consider going up top and get into that similar engagement we've seen on this stairwell so many times, but he's actually going to hit it from below, try to get some shots, and will ultimately get taken out from behind by Gunchi.
Well, Gunchi and Peter coming in with a couple of kills. Yeah, that's probably going to really be able to release TCM away from the spawn. I tell you what, Dido is doing a good job up there. 10 and 7 for him. But he's just really shutting down any attack, and they are very aware of that as PT is being sent up to annihilate him. We are going to stay on board with PT in the moment as I managed to go into third person once again. But still, with PT, and the lead does actually go to Faze 9 to 8 now. And they just seem to be able to get those sneaky little caps through. Even though nobody's really had necessarily much control, it has been very defensive from Faze so far. PT picking up a kill. Parasite and Tito answering back in turn. Gunchi and Marky do go down. Is PT and Moose to continue the attack for TCM.
And he didn't see that player on the left. I thought he got eyes on him as he crossed, but PD's in trouble here. As soon as he runs through, he will get shot in the back there by Apathy Moose. And another engagement. That's going to be 3 down right now. Marky B last alive for TCM. He's going to have to play some big defense here as 2 players coming in. PD already off spawn actually was able to pick up one of the kills. Sensor will answer right back. Halfway through side 2. 1 cap lead here for Faze.
Well, forward with Marky B at the moment, just defending, and he really needs to defend well. The rest of his team are in and there at the bows, but 1 and 2 do go down. PD has work to do. He does go down. And Gunchi going to be able to get the cap to answer back, and he's not. It's going to be 10-8 now, and they're in trouble now, TCM. They need to make sure they do not get relayed, and we are seeing Faze go on the aggression because they can sniff that. They can see the fact that they are potentially set up for that. Marky B really needs to stay alive here. Dido has picked up the kill once again on the Marky B, and Moose is maybe going to make this cap here. Gunchi has managed to shut down Apathy, so bringing that back. Gunchi goes down though, and at this moment in time, they can't afford to overextend and go for the trade.
They handle it so differently. You know, as you said, they spawn strip, and instead of overextending across this time, they decided to rotate back and try to clean up their base. And that may have been a wise decision because there was a guy bottom broken there just waiting for that overextension. But despite that choice, the lead just continues to extend here for Faze.
TCM need to clean up here. They need to get these kills in and around their base, and now they need to push. They're 3 points behind, 1 minute 20 seconds remaining. More than enough time, but they need to do something about it now. Moose is going to get picked down. PT does pick up the kill on the center. Marky B goes down as well. Faze looking good here on board with PT. Needs to do something special if TCM want to go to come back in this one, but 4 members of Faze are sitting back. Moose does take down Dido, who's been such a rock for them, I feel, sitting up top. I mean, he controlled that for a good 2 minutes. And that is really, I mean, stop TCM getting any points. Eventually is going to pick up a kill. Apathy is going to push down this left-hand side, though. And that's the thing, unfortunately, for TCM. They cannot afford to let Faze players slip through just like this. That's going to be 12-10. Mid, that's 13-10 now.
Yeah, you
Apathy,
can't afford to trade. Yeah, you can't afford to trade, especially Apathy was last alive there. If you're TCM, you do not want the last alive player actually punching through there for the trade. And this one's about to be all she wrote. 3 cap lead right now for Faze. They've looked really good in the second half of this second side.
Oh yeah, they're very, very impressive. And you know what? I'm surprised by the big grenades coming in, but all a little too late. Unfortunately, both these teams going to end up going to Faze, and that's going to be 3-0 now. And Faze walking away with this series. But wow, what a game we did actually have. Yeah, I mean, S&D looked relatively comfortable. TCM did go into a pretty decent lead. But Faze coming back into it, and then Domination.
That's 3 3-0s now, but this was not, in my opinion, remotely similar to the first couple of 3-0s. One, I mean, heck, we had to have a replay of game 3. It came down to, a couple seconds there in the Dom. We were tied 3-3 in the S&D. Really, really close games overall.
Well, Faze is definitely going to be happy with that one. I did go for a prediction of a 3-1 win to TCM. It turns out I was completely wrong. I mean, we talked about it. I said that, it was 3-0, but very, very close between these two teams. Parasite had a good game first half with the Domination really holding it down for his team. And, we can't say, he had a pretty bad second half. But at the same time, that first half, that extension lead that they had, if they didn't have such a good lead, then, I mean, they would have, there's so many ifs and buts.
Yeah, you wonder how much of that was TCM bringing it back, and how many times have you seen a team with that big of a lead just get a little comfortable?
Yeah, potentially.
that especially when you saw Fairsight running the AR there when they were getting free capped, it makes me almost think like they were just like, oh, we're up a lot, we're good. Almost brought it back, but unfortunately TCM did fall a little bit short.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's nice to have a good game on main stage though, because I said the other two games have been pretty much, pretty 3-0 sweeps. But this, if anything, very, very close game. Some more good games coming up for the rest of the day though, guys, and I do believe we're going to send it to a very, very quick break. Do not go anywhere. I've been told.
Yeah, we have what Shane and the analysis crew over there ready to break this one down. We're going to throw it over to them. Thanks for watching.
I love how we're just part of your crew now. When did this happen?
This is my click. Report to you guys to the click.
What the heck? I didn't agree to this. We just smacked him in the face. Oh dear.
The stream.
We're doing pretty well with the predictions. Let's talk about that first map. That was really, really close. 157 to 154. I mean, wow, that by skin of the teeth there.
TCM were 40 points down on the first side, and it was looking pretty bleak for Europe. Again, shock.
Well, usually.
As it usually happens, but they kept their composure and they pulled it back. They were playing so aggressive on the second side. And their star players, Moose and Petey, they seriously stepped it up, which was a big help on the first map.
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I would say, one, I'm genuinely surprised as to how good Faze actually did. I was expecting them to kind of lose this series, but the more I watched it, I realized how good Faze was. I'm just going to steal this from you. I realized how good Faze actually was at controlling red on Frey. That was really... I think, there it is.
Oh, there
they did such a good job at controlling red versus TCM that TCM couldn't push up at all, and they were just getting steamrolled on that first side. So I think if they if they had a better first side, I think they would have at least taken a game. But, I mean, FaZe dominated.
Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, and then moving into that second map, you had the S&D come up. And that's where I thought TCM could actually, make a difference. And they ended up taking that early lead. They were up 3-1 at one point, and then FaZe just kind of came back and just steamrolled them through the next few rounds. So that S&D was just kind of that crucial map I feel like TCM needed to change the momentum after that first map, and just didn't happen for them there.
I mean, how important is to kind of get that momentum to kind of push forward, do you think?
It's incredibly important, especially when if you go 1-0 down, 2-0 down, it's just like... It's just an
Why
uphill
bother? Just forget it. Screw you
Turn
guys.
your Xbox off and
It's all done.
But Moose, the star player, and also an unbelievable S&D. I think he went 1-8, maybe 1-9, which that's also confidence damage into him himself. So it must have affected him going into the next map too.
I mean, how do you mentally, when you're playing, just kind of brush that stuff off? How do you do it? What do you say to yourself?
My advice is I just don't look at your scoreboard.
Oh, that is
which
advice.
is hard not to.
Yeah, you kind of just have to say sorry, guys, and move on, and that's what happened there. I think Moose did finish, 1-8 on that map, and obviously had a rough game there. And you just have to pick yourself up and move on. And they came back into that blitz on the third map, and they drew there at the end of the first play. Yeah. But in the end, in the replay, they got kind of taken in the end. So you can't really do much about that. You really just kind of have to gather yourself, look forward to the next match, and that's going to be TCM going down 3-0, I believe the score was, yeah?
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add about that final Octane Blitz map?
Yeah. So the big thing here that happened, obviously, it was a close match the entire time.
Absolutely.
We tied, and then they only won by 3 or 4 points, caps, rather.
Yeah.
But the big thing here was that when FaZe had control of the base, you notice how that we saw TCM always wrap back to their flag. You can't do that. You have to just overextend at some point, especially with 2 minutes left on the game. So, you have to basically say, all right, look, we're giving up our base in order to get 3 caps. They'll take 2, and then we'll just give up our base.
Yeah, and there you saw Sensor on the screen. I think Sensor was the MVP of that match right there for FaZe. I mean, I think he had the highest kill total in the S&D. I'm not sure what he did in the Dom. I didn't get to catch the final score there, but then in the Blitz, I mean, he was, again, the top slayer for FaZe. And that's supposed to be your guy doing the objective work for the most part. And anytime you see Sensor on a team become the top slayer, that's his team's usually winning in that scenario because he's still objective-minded no matter what.
It happens with a lot of teams. When the slayers aren't making kills, the objective player usually steps up to play. Like EG or a perfect
you see
example.
TP, in EG, and people just. I think I heard some of the guys backstage after EG played Infused, and some of the Infused guys were like, TP's the best player in the game, because
in my opinion, he is.
Yeah, right. Because he plays the objective, he does a lot of the dirty work, but then when you see him at the top of the scoreboard and kills and. That just makes it that much more impressive, right? So I think players like TP and Sensor don't get enough credit.
I mean, do you think that Blitz is one of those one of those modes where it's like the most changeable tactics-wise? Would you say it's the most changeable tactics-wise, or is that just my sort of poor read on it? Just in terms of the heat of the moment, it kind of switches so quick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the momentum definitely shifts like on the drop of a dime. I mean, the big thing about Blitz, though, and which makes it very interesting for like the Call of Duty dynamic here, is that you see the players like your Akes, your Crim Sixes, your Karmas, your Scums doing all this objective. Yeah, your Shanes. Can't forget my buddy Shane.
Yeah.
Doing this objective work because they're killing people. So by getting there, they're actually able to get kills and they're getting caps. So that's where all the momentum comes from. You get a person like Scump or Formal in your base and they're shredding you, your team's just going to be able to walk casually behind like, oh, hey, man, I got this cap too.
I'm just going to meander, I'm going to stop off, get a drink, Anything else you guys would like to add before we go to the commercial break? About that? No? Said your piece.
I will say this, though. Faze is looking extremely strong. If they just took down, one of the top 2 teams in Europe 3-0 like that, you got to look out for Faze. A lot of people, I think, are counting on like an Optic or EG to come in here and just roll for North America. Look out for Faze because they look extremely strong and they're playing at a high caliber.
Cool. Well, guys, thanks so much. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break and we'll be back with the next game in a few minutes.